Another exciting day here on the trade show floor at Commodity Classic 2016 with my friends from CaseIH. And they have been making news with their Early Riser Series planters, and that's what we want to talk about this morning with Tony McClelland, who is the crop production marketing manager specifically for these planters. So the Early Riser Series, only a very few people have gotten a chance to see this baby up close. Tell me about it.
Yeah, we're very excited about our new planter. We're phasing in the new 2000 series planters, and we unveiled it at the Louisville show, and here we are at Commodity a couple weeks later. And this planter has been completely redesigned from the ground up. We've rethought everything, completely new row unit, which we can talk about here, but basically the planter is designed for accuracy in agronomics, durability for tough conditions, which includes high speed and simplicity. I mean, it's just a simple planter.
Right. Of all the modifications that were made, Tony, what in particular do growers seem to be gravitating toward? I know that ease of operation is a big one.
Oh yeah, ease of operation is huge, but as folks are walking by, one of the big things that a lot of producers tend to notice is they take a look and they're like, oh wow, this is new, and they kind of stop. and they're noticing a lot of use of casting and commonized hardware, and it just looks like it's built heavy and built tough.
Excellent.
For tough conditions. Yeah.
Now why don't you give me a little demonstration here, Tony, and teach me on the go what we're looking at specifically here with the technology and the Early Riser Series.
Yeah, so I'll kind of walk you through some things, but you know, I tend to think of this as like a hybrid, and there's a lot of traits that makes the hybrid.
Yeah.
But first of all, you'll notice our new curved parallel lengths. The bottom one is cast. We've gone from basically 10 inches of vertical travel to 16 inches of vertical travel, which leapfrogs everybody else in the marketplace.
Sure.
For those producers that maybe have terrace terrain or rolling ground, you know, get excellent seed to soil contact.
Sure.
If I kind of start at the front here, floating residue managers with an air cylinder, which allows for in-cab control based on the conditions that they're in. You know, whether no-tilling or conventional till, you don't need to get out and change it. You can just do it from the cab.
That's another one. I know that we'll be talking about the Barracuda drill or disc a little bit later. That residue management, I've got to believe that inspired a lot of this hydraulics in that.
Oh, absolutely. That's a key. Managing residue in front of the planter and optimizing your seed to soil contact and proper depth placement. If you can clear a good clean path for that row unit to work through, you're going to do a better job placing seed, which is going to give you a better stand.
Right, and doing it from the cab, there's that ease of operation again.
Yeah, you bet, you bet. So if we move back a little bit, you'll notice we have a new electric drive meter as standard. We co-developed this VSET 2 meter with our partners at Precision Planting. And on this model right here, this is our new high-speed seed delivery. It's the advanced seed delivery system. It makes use of this speed tube, which literally plucks a seed from the seed meter and carries it through this flighted conveyor belt straight down to the furrow. So it takes gravity out of the equation.
So it's pressured air then?
No, it's like a flighted conveyor belt. There's actually a little rubber belt that carries the seed down, and it shoots the seed out rearward at the same velocity as what the planter is traveling.
Really?
So if you're going 8 miles an hour, the seed shoots out rearwards at 8 miles an hour. So for the seed, it's a dead drop. It falls exactly where it placed for very high accuracy at high speeds.
Okay, now the first thing guys are going to say, now wait a minute, plugging or wear or anything like that you're worried about with this kind of design?
Yeah, no, the design has been very solid, and we've got a lot of these machines out, and they've really been doing very well for us.
Boy, talk about accuracy. I like that.
Yeah, just moving back, there's a few more things. Liquid fertilizer, complete system from the factory, which includes a 400-gallon liquid fertilizer tank with plumbed all the way to the furrow.
Sure. Row by row
shutoffs for accurate liquid fertilizer placement.
Wow.
And those are some of the neat new things. You know, we partnered with AMVAC to make use of the smart box for insecticide options, which again is row by row shutoffs to optimize reduced input costs.
Absolutely.
You know, it's not just the seed, but also we can do that with liquid fertilizer and insecticide.
See, that's the thing that you have to really appreciate about the Early Riser is that it doesn't matter the system that you're working with, the terrain that you're working with. This machine with a very simple adjustment in the cab can make it all happen.
Absolutely, absolutely. Another thing that's new that you can adjust from the cab is the on your closing system, your closing disc. You can actually adjust the pressure from the cab for the conditions that you're in.
Again, I keep coming back to it, but at CaseIH, everybody has to work together. The Early Riser Series planter has to complement, for example, the Barracuda and even some of the larger horsepower tractor, because we're dealing with different residue management, different grades, different soil type at about every couple of feet.
Different tillage practices, different systems, and some of the really exciting stuff, which I'll show you next, is the traits that they're the agronomic traits with the soil engaging parts of the row unit.
Sure, yeah.
And these are the parts that really make this an early riser.
Okay.
And if I flip this up so you can kind of see here, so we talked about residue management and clearing a good clean path, but we start with these with an offset disc opener. So we've gone to a 15-inch, 4.5 mil heavy duty disc opener, but it's offset, so one is in front of the other. That means we're cutting residue like a knife.
Yep.
It's very good for penetrating hard soils.
Sure.
We don't need a no-till coulter out in front of this system.
Sure. Then it comes with the separator right behind.
That's right. That's right. And then back here you see this this furrow forming point.
Sure.
And a seed shoe.
Oh yeah.
And basically, anytime you have a set of double disc openers, you create a W in the bottom of the trench.
Sure.
So this little forming point, it basically gives you a flat seed bottom to your furrow. So when you drop a seed, you very consistently drop it to the same depth all the time.
Well, and you want soil to seed contact to be paramount too.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Righteous.
The other little trait here is on the gauge wheels themselves. We've got these dirt relief grooves, or this reduced inner diameter.
Oh, sure, it doesn't clod.
Well, what it does is it completely eliminates any sidewall compaction issues. So that's really not a concern with the early riser.
Well, you know, and those are the kinds of things, we've lived it, we've experienced it. We never imagined that somebody would come up with solutions, because that's the kind of problem, you know what I mean, Tony, that's the kind of problem that we really identify after the seed's in the ground.
Absolutely, absolutely. And really, you know, the rest of it is the closing system. A very gentle two-stage closing system. The inverted closing disc basically zip the trench closed from the bottom up. The moist soil goes right back on top of the seed where you need it.
Tamper down.
And then the press wheel, tampers it down and just firms that soil and gives you that good seed to soil contact.
Wow.
But it's all these traits that add together that give you a very fast germination of the seed, and that consistent soil density and depth placement allows for a very uniform emergence across the whole planter and across the whole field. And that's what pays back in yield, is getting all those plants up fast and at the same time.
Isn't that wild? So Tony McClelland, crop production marketing manager, primarily for Early Riser, you're starting to sound like an agronomist to me, Tony.
Well, we take that very seriously. In fact, that's really been our focus with this new planter, and it has been with all of our Early Riser planters, and so that is a common thread.
You know, there was a time when all they did was talk about the paint. Now he's talking about the plants too. Nice job, Tony. I hope that the show continues to show the payoff for the Early Riser Series.
You bet. Thanks so much, Pam. We sure appreciate you.
Yeah, I'll look forward to seeing it in Wisconsin farm fields coming up this year. The Early Riser Series, one of the newsmakers here at Commodity Classic 2016 in New Orleans, along with my buddies CaseIH on the trade show floor, Tony McClelland and the fabulous Farm Babe.